dwellers. Hosted by your boys, Jacob Santoro and Christian Talone.
You're blabbering about unnecessary stuff. Cut it out.
Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button to get all the updates from the channel too.
Tell me what your hand's doing over that button first.
But for now, just loud shout and kick back, cause I got a fresh one right here delivered to your speakers. Lock in.
Alright.
Episode 70. Welcome back, everybody, to the Basement Dweller podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, a local artist, musician, and the president of the Beautiful Hair Club. With us today, we have Esteban, and I'm already forgetting how to pronounce your last name, so finish it for me.
Palacios.
Palacios. Hey, welcome on, buddy. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Howdy.
What's it like? What's going on, man?
Oh, excited to be here, working, doing all my normal shit, but it was cool to get the invite from you guys. And,
About time, right?
yeah, be able to come out and just have a little convo and shoot the shit,
Very excited. Yeah, we've been
man.
talking about this for months, it feels like. Almost fucking years, it feels like.
Yeah, man. It's been really crazy. Like, anytime something comes up, it's hard to get out, but I'm glad to be here.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
man.
of course, man. Thanks for coming on, really. I mean, anytime that we get to, like I was telling you before we started, it's always musicians and comedians. Those are my favorite. And you and I go pretty way back. I mean, we've known at least of each other for what?
Oh, man. I think we met when I'm about to be 30, and I was like 16 or 17 when I met you, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little older. But we had originally met at some random-ass club out in like Tempe.
It was like 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
era.
something like that,
Yeah.
So I remember we were all just a bunch of crazy idiots, dumb kids playing on stage. Yeah, no, nothing's changed.
Yeah,
nothing's changed.
Oh, yeah, Christian's here too. Hi, buddy.
I was like, where's my camera?
Christian got promoted to cameraman for this episode, so he's going to earn his wings. So
I'm only having a minor panic attack.
yeah,
already.
it's okay. You're learning. Just
You and me both.
I feel like every episode moving on after we started buying these cameras is just more so a open invitation to apply to just be a producer for us. Like, say, hey, we're struggling. Please help us. There's so many things going on here. So Esteban is part of the band The Writ, if I'm saying that right.
Yes.
I gotta ask. I've just been dying to know. So where'd that name come from?
So it's actually it's a Black Sabbath song.
Yeah. Okay.
Off of the Sabotage album. I believe it's the last track on the Sabotage album. We have gone through like several iterations with different band names, and we're struggling to find a name that really fit us because we don't like necessarily pigeonhole to one style. So after going through the rigmarole of like 1,000 different names, our lead guitar player suggested The Writ, because we're all Sabbath fans and we were doing kind of a doomy thing at the time. And,
Very cool sound.
I was like, fuck it, that works for me. I don't really care what we're called, as long as it's memorable and it sticks. So
I envy that. I bounce. I'm not even in a band, but me and Christian are doing like that casual like late 20s thing where like you're not in a band, but you're like, it'd be a fucking sick band name,
right.
So I just bounce off. He just says things. I was like, damn, cool band name. Like I have to keep something because what was the one that we landed on for a little while? Stogie. Yeah, we came on Stogie. I liked that one a lot. I liked Weekend Dads.
Oh, I like Weekend Dads. Yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
I like bouncing just ideas of just of band names. But that okay, I knew as soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, that definitely sounds like I thought it was right there. But yeah, Sabbath, that's cool. Huge Sabbath fan too.
Yeah, man.
Electric Funeral, or just The Wizard. That's another one of my favorites.
I liked when we were coming up with band names. I came up with this fucking cable.
Yeah.
What was it? I was like, you can go into any Castlevania game, and you could just pick any item. Any item from the game, and then like you just turn it into a band name. Like my favorite one was Power of Sire.
Yes,
I was like, that sounds so cool.
or car parts, Slave Cylinder.
Hey, Christian plays bass. I play guitar. It sounds like we're about to start that band, dude.
Let's
Sounds
go,
like,
dude. Let's go.
You sing. So in the band, you sing
Yes.
lead, and you are also guitar.
Yeah, rhythm guitar and sing.
That's the one thing I can't do. I have tried even on the easiest songs, like even like Closing Time. I cannot like just synchronize like singing and playing guitar at the same time, especially with the music that you play. I can't imagine it's easy to learn.
I don't know, man. Like it's just one of those things that I've always wanted to do, and like I started from the bottom, bro. I started out as a drummer, And I went to bass, I went to guitar, and then I started singing. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. You know?
Can I say thank you for not putting bass at the bottom?
No. Bass players are like maybe 1 or 2 IQ points higher than drummers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, drummers always annoyed me just because it's in my from what I've seen, it can be the most expensive, and you have the heaviest shit, and it always revolves around where we practice.
Yes,
is whoever has the drum
yes.
kit. Because shout out to my old drummer Michael, because he would bring that shit like every time we practice.
man.
You know, so it's like the commitment. But I know most drummers like, yeah, you're either practicing at my house or the band's not going to be a thing because I can't practice in my 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh, it's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah, and you're usually the first one there and the last one out if you're a drummer, you know, and you got to set it up right, or else you're gonna fucking lose a cymbal, or you know something's gonna fall off. And
I do fear that, because like my biggest fear was always like you're sweaty, you know, and you lose a pick. It's whatever. But my fear with the drummers is like, did you ever see that video of like the guy from Polyphia? It's like that video that was going around where like he lost like his earbud, and so they had to have the tech just like just keep time on his like fucking leg.
Yeah,
that's so terrifying. Or like when a cymbal goes down, or like shit like that.
Yeah, man, and that's the problem with running like fully in ear and not having any on stage monitoring. You know, because once you lose that capability, or like you know, if you're running full in ear and you lose your fucking laptop and your band just falls apart, you got to be ready to fucking eject from that shit and just raw dog it, because. You know, if you're up there without any backup plan, especially as a drummer, good luck. You know,
Fuck, that's terrifying. That's what nightmares are made of, for sure.
Oh yeah,
You just did a show. You just did a show last Saturday at Pub Rock, right?
yeah.
And how's that one?
It went well. We played with Audavant. I bought their shirt. Shout out Audavant.
Shout out,
Really
shout out.
cool, kind of like mixture of traditional, like I don't know, like traditional medieval mixed with Irish stuff and metal.
I definitely get that vibe. Oh my god.
The magic of radio.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I used to loathe that part, like the editing part, but I'm like, oh man, it makes everything so much better. Just like, hold on a second. Like there was times I was so nervous in my first episodes that, like my guest was like, it's okay, like we can take a break, you know. And I was like, oh thank God. And it's like you always forget that you could just cut shit out, you know.
Yeah.
During our Halloween episode, I felt so bad for him. I don't know if you saw like the promos or anything like that, but he had like I was so stoned. I was fucking really high, and he was wearing a full like plague doctor mask. And so like I felt bad for him because I couldn't see what his face was. So it's like I would like oh it's something, right? And like it was just blank staring at me. And I was like, we need to take a break. Like 20 minutes in, and he's like, you okay? I was like, I'm fucking peaking, bro. Like it's just I can't.
And then Jacob was also like stoned out of his mind. So like he kept telling me after, he's like usually like when we're talking, I go off like your facial, you know, expressions to know like if I'm being funny or if I need to try something else. He's like, but with just the bird mask, he's like, I couldn't read anything. And he said like halfway through, it just started to like freak him out.
He's like speaking into the void.
Talking to the bird.
Yeah.
We have to. The hardest part, you know, a lot of people ask me like, what's the hardest part about doing this? And I'll honestly tell you, it's finding the perfect lucid sweet spot of alcohol. Because my biggest fear, because we've definitely there's been times where like we're gonna like pregame before the show, and we both like have had this look like, oh boy, you know what I mean? Just like we're about to call me Paula Abdul because I'm about to fucking ruin this whole thing right now,
hell
dude.
yeah, brother.
And like you got to find, because I feel like I'm still too anxious to do this sober most times, but I've learned like I can't smoke.
Oh, there's a fine line between like Stone Cold Steve Austin and then David Hasselhoff off the rails.
Yeah, I'm on the floor eating cheeseburgers for sure.
Hell yeah, brother.
Are
I'll
you
drink
a,
to that?
Yeah. Are you a beer before the show kind of guy?
Definitely. I didn't drink all week last week because I was on call with work, and I felt amazing. I still had that like lingering anxiety in my chest because I usually drink every week, you know. And I was like, I'm just raw dogging life. It was so weird, but by Saturday I felt great, right? And I'm like, I'm not gonna drink before the show. I'm not gonna drink before the show. And the first thing I did when I got to the show was have 2 shots of Jameson and a Coors.
Because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone.
That's right. Yes.
Are you a Jameson guy?
Yeah, I love Jameson.
My
That's
man.
my favorite whiskey.
I'll drink to that, bro. Because
Hell yeah, brother.
that's the only. Yeah, cheers, my friend. Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Christian, what is your favorite whiskey? I feel like we never talk about this.
Because I don't really drink whiskey that much. I mean, I was always just like
Tequila.
bottle of Jack with like
Nothing wrong with that.
some sort of Coke or Pepsi.
What about
or-
like your preferred? What's your preferred like liquor? We were just talking about before the show started that. You know, it's like, oh, I wish we just had sound guys to do all this, you know? So it's like, I want to one day enjoy just like a nice, like for me, If I could pick one drink to just have like for a pre-show drink, it would always either be a Jameson just straight, which people lose their fucking minds because like that's not a whiskey you drink straight, but it's just like it's so good.
Who cares?
Yeah, right. So it's either that or straight up, it's just like a vodka soda. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just super easy. So like, what is your one drink? Like, what would be like your one drink that like I want to have this before the show?
You know, honestly, probably like a dry martini.
What?
Yeah, man, I'm on board with that.
I like gin a lot.
I actually have a good story about martinis.
Oh,
let's
play it
hear
on.
it.
Ready
Let's
for
hear it.
that. So
You're in the right place.
I was living with my old band Altera. Shout out Altera.
Shout out
Those
Altera.
motherfuckers, man. Good guys. We were living out in Mesa, and I was going into like a cocktail phase where we were kind of trying to outdo each other on who could make like the best cocktails. And at that house, we had uncoordinated parties every weekend. There was times we had to shoo people away because we're trying to get some fucking sleep.
Yeah.
You guys can't be here. But anyway, I was in a martini phase, and I liked them like real dry. I liked a lot of vermouth and all that, whatever. The olive juice, it was just amazing. I love it.
Really?
Yeah. So at the time, my now wife, she was my girlfriend. She came over to party with us, and the plan was we're gonna drink over there and then go back to her mom's place so we could have some peace and quiet away from the party house. So I drank probably about 6 or 7 martinis in a row, thinking like, oh yeah, this is so cool, like so good. And I was puking all over the place in the front yard, and it was the worst smell ever because it smelled like pure
Olives?
brine. And we get in my fucking Chevy Cruze piece of shit car, that lasted me like
That's
5
what Jacob
years.
drives.
That's right. Yeah. Shout
I
out
lo-
Cruise Gang.
Yeah, I loved that car. And we were driving off, and we just hear I'm throwing up out of the side of the door, and we
man.
hear. We fucking lost a tire, so we're riding on a rim, and then we get pulled over.
Oh, no.
And so the cop pulls us over, and he's like, got this look on his face, like, "Oh God, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Have you guys seen a hit and run?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude, but I just blew the tire. I'm just trying to change it." And there's literally a pile of martini puke right next to me, and ever since then, I couldn't do martinis, and my wife is averse to them completely because of that smell.
It lingers for sure.
Oh, it's horrible, man.
We'll trade stories. One of my favorite stories, he knows, like that's the reason why I can't have Fireball anymore.
Oh, dude,
Same.
tell me about it.
So there was how many times have we talked about? We've talked about this a couple times, but I'll go a little more in depth. So he was close friends with them. I was just kind of acquaintances with these people. It was like right after high school. Yeah, because I was living at the house with
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
2015, 16 or something
like that. We were not a part of like the party every weekend. Me and Christian have always just been like loner dweebs, or we just kind of we were in love with each other and we just hang out with each other.
Oh, yeah.
But then we just kind of like parasite our way into like other parties. Like, what's going on? All right, cool.
Yeah, just get your, going.
But back in the day, both of us had this thing where it was like we both. I can't speak on his behalf, so I will say that like I had so much social anxiety that it was like for me it was like what's that dude from like Big Bang Theory where he can only talk to women when he's drinking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like I couldn't do anything unless I had like something in me. But I was driving. But when you're a teenager, you're just like, well, we weren't teenagers. We were like it was like 20 or
We
21.
were old enough to drink.
Yeah, we were like 20. We had to at least be 21.
You're basically a teenager.
Right.
still
Yeah,
at
we're
that
still
point.
teenagers. Yeah,
You're still-
mentally.
Yeah.
But we go to this house. I think our friend was house sitting because it was way too nice for any one of us shitheads to live there. It was in Scottsdale. Like Scottsdale?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
He
was
was house sitting for like this old lady.
Yeah, and so there was this, you make rules when you're younger just to drink over the dumbest shit. You know what I mean? Just like,
Oh, yeah.
you tripped, time take 3 shots, like stupid shit. Well, the rule was that it was if someone said Parrot Bay, you had to take a shot of Parrot Bay. So it's just intentionally meant to get you fucked up.
Oh, no.
But it was also if someone said Fireball, you had to take a shot of Fireball.
Yeah.
And so now I love watching Christian go plus ultra on anything. It's my favorite thing to watch Christian just blow my mind. Christian is one of those guys where I can't chug beers, but like Christian can do like beer fest. You know what I mean? Like boom, 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 boom. And I just watch it like, whoa,
Yeah, man after my own heart.
Yeah. So we're just sitting there. It's not even a party. It's like what, 5-6 people in this big house.
It was no, there was more than that. It was like
Couldn't have been more than 15.
it was like definitely not more than 15, but it was
So I'm a little buzzed, but I knew it was like, okay, I have to, here's my mentality. I have to drive, but I love my best friend so much. I want him to get everything out of this. Because keep in mind, back then when the struggle was real, where it's just like you need gas money and like all that shit, you know?
yeah, man.
So it's just like I'm looking at it where it's just like I have no money. So it's just like I'm already a bummer. So I want to go home as soon as possible because it's just like I got to eat at home. Anyways, I pour this rocks glass full of Fireball, like almost to the brim. And to be stupid, look, first of all, party foul on my end, because if this didn't work, I'm the asshole that just wasted a shit ton of liquor. You know what I mean? But I walk over to Christian, who's already kind of there, right? And I go, hey.
I wasn't kind of there. I was
Yeah.
pretty drunk.
Yeah. And so I go, hey, Christian, Fireball. Without hesitation, he grabs it, drinks all of it, and just slams like that. And I literally, like, I wish there was someone to record my, like, I was terror. Like, this wasn't good. Cut to like 30 minutes later, we're like, it's like it takes a village to raise a child. We're like all monitoring this fucking
Pitching
kid.
in on him, yeah.
Dude, the drive
He's
home,
gone.
the drive home, we literally got out of the driveway. First 30 seconds, I gotta throw up. No, we weren't old enough. No, we weren't old enough to drink. And I know this because I was fucking so afraid of getting pulled over because that's why. So we were definitely at least 20. We were no older than 20. But the whole time he's like, I gotta throw up. And the whole time, like, buddy, we're almost there. We're like fucking 40 minutes away. But I'm like, you're almost there. You're gonna do it. And I just hear him back, just like he's so fucked. And I'm so afraid. He's saying dumb shit. He's like talking about fan fiction, Marvel fan fiction. And like, he's like, I could beat up Deadpool.
Which I don't have, by the way.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
thought it was so funny
Dude.
that I mentioned that because I have never done fan fiction in my life.
But he was just like, no one even can handle my fan fiction. I'm like, what? And he's like, also, Deadpool, I could fucking kill Deadpool. Like, I'm like, whatever it takes to get him off the
That confidence, yeah.
right? Like, just whatever it takes to get him
Yeah.
off that mindset, right? So we're pulling in, and I'm like, dude, we made it. I literally put my car in park. I turn the car off, and I just hear blah, 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 blah. And I look over at Christian, and he is head up, just like this, just volcano vomiting in my car.
Yes.
And it's just gooping down his fucking chest.
Yes.
And so, cut to a very annoying night. The next day, he was all hungover, and I was like, well, first things first, go clean my car. So he did, and I give him kudos to that. But yeah, like, you smell that after smell. It fucking. We were so tired. Like, he was so fucked up. And like, I tried to clean a little bit of it, but like that Fireball smell.
His car smelled like Fireball for weeks.
It's my old 2001 Dodge
middle
Neon,
of
dude.
summer,
Yeah.
like it was hot, and there's pizza shit in there. Like,
So
Dude, you
it-
know there's propylene glycol in Fireball. The same shit they put in vape juice.
Really?
It's essentially antifreeze. And it's to keep it from spots of the Fireball from freezing over when you put it in the freezer. They actually outlawed that ingredient.
I feel like I remember something about that. I remember something like people saying like, "There's antifreeze in."
Yeah, it's outlawed in Europe, so they don't put any propylene glycol in the European version of Fireball, but the American version is just all the good stuff.
It's kind of like Fireball's just the new Four Loko. It's just like, hey, this used to
Yeah.
kill people, so
Yeah.
we got to kind of dumb it down a little bit.
It probably gives you cancer for sure. If you
Well, I mean,
drink
what
enough of
doesn't?
it.
But
yeah.
you know what my big thing is too is like you talked about like having like a cocktail phase.
Yeah.
I also thought of myself as a home bartender for a little while, and that was probably the drunkest I ever been. Like, especially when I learned what like real Long Islands were. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
And like, but I also remember like I would, like I would like bring girls over to my house. Like, it was just to impress girls. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, what do you want? Like a lemon drop? You know what I mean? Anytime an adult to me orders a Fireball on anything, I'm like, go home. Like, it's just like that is such a that I put Fireball in the same category that I put like MD 2020.
You know
what I mean?
It's funny you mentioned that because every year, and I'm doing this weekend, every year I go ice fishing with my dad, my
Oh,
grandpa,
awesome.
my brother. We go up to Pine Top area, and the
Beautiful.
lakes are frozen over enough you can actually fish. But the tradition, for some reason, my grandpa always buys Fireball, and he brings it out there. He never drinks Fireball, maybe occasionally golfing, but he brought it out there one year. My dad's gonna fucking hate me for this. He's gonna hate me for this because my dad pretty much 99% of the time has his shit together, you know, and he's usually the planner and all that. So we're out there, and my grandpa's just feeding him Fireball, just like nonstop. And keep in mind we're on the ice, so we did a little bit of sledding, and then out of nowhere, my dad is playing the same reggae song over and over. And over.
Oh
The
my
song's
God.
called African Herb Man. You look it up, man. I can never get that song out of my head because he listened to it like 24 times, and he's dancing on the ice, just in Fireball mode.
That's
dude.
amazing. You know, that's
And
a dad thing.
Yeah, and he there was a point he was trying to walk back to the truck,
Mm-hmm.
and the ice just, is getting real like sleety out there, and he's just
Eee.
falling the entire time on the way to
And the whole time he's just rude boys. Just keep playing, keep playing.
yeah, Bomba Glide. Yeah, he was having such a good time.
Hey, Ree.
Yeah, he was having such a good
That's
time.
awesome. But, that's totally a dad thing because my ex-girlfriend's dad, one of the coolest people I ever met, super just adorable, short little dad, but he's from Amarillo, Texas. So he's got like that little just like whip, I figured that, just like talks like that,
Yeah.
But he's always perpetually like buzzed because every time he's like Post Malone. Every time I went to go see him, he had a cigarette and a Bud Light in his hand. Never. Like it's always what it was. So when
Metal.
when those people are drunk, it's like elevated. But it's so funny because I'll never forget. This is like a Tuesday. This isn't like a special occasion. He started playing. What is that song? Are you pretty familiar with the band Pearl Jam? Like, do you know enough of their songs?
Yeah. Speaking of dads, my dad fucking killed Pearl Jam for me.
It's the dad episode.
Yeah, he killed
So,
it for me.
I don't remember the name of the song, but it starts with that really super melodic like riff, and it's like, "Oh, we'll see her on a window."
Yellow Ledbetter.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude, same thing. And he would not stop playing it. And then he comes over to me, and he's just like, "This song is about when my son got in trouble with the law." And he would not stop. Like, and he played it like 5, 6, 7 times on like the
no.
family television, like on YouTube. He's like, and at one point he goes, "I just don't feel like you heard it." You know what I mean? Like, it has to be a dad thing.
It's not tapping into the same emotions for you.
What
that
does your
it is
dad
for
do?
me.
What does your dad do when he's like? How can you tell that your dad's pretty wasted?
My dad, he kind of does what you do, like where he just gets like really sleepy. He I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But if you push through that and you kind of like get him to like, persevere a little bit, then he gets really like dancey, like
Yeah.
But he listens to like old like house music, like fucking. What would you call like freestyle revolution type shit?
What?
So like my dad will get like it's funny because like my dad's a big dude, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's about as tall as me, but he's like
Wide.
stacked like a pit bull.
Yeah, yeah.
And like he'll just start doing like a little like he does
Little
like
shimmy.
it's funny to just like a little shimmy, but it's funny because he's just got arms, like so it's
That's hilarious. Yeah, my dad's a big motherfucker too, man.
Oh, yeah?
He gets dancy when he drinks and shit, man. But
My dad,
cool guy.
My dad stopped drinking a long time ago because he used to have a problem. So he stopped, but like it is very rare to like see him. Now my dad's in the perfect sweet spot where when he's just on it, he's on it. Like I took him to Denver to go. We're big Raiders fans, and I took him to go watch the Denver Raiders game in Denver. Never been, and like he had like 4 Michelob Ultras. You know what I'm saying? But like you could tell that he was like feeling himself.
Yeah.
It's something about like your dad because you're like, that's my dad, and it's like I told my stepmom, I was like, I don't know if this is sad or cool to hear, but I've never seen my dad so happy. Like, you know what I mean?
and we're back again.
Spilling goddamn beer all over my goddamn equipment. So you guys hear about this cop that was just banging her other fellow cops?
How could you not have?
I know. You know what's so funny is before you came here, I told him that's what I want to talk about. He's like, I figured you wanted to talk about that. This has been my favorite news in the last like week. Like this is my favorite news cycle.
Something about it's just, it's definitely one of my favorite psyops for sure.
It's insane. Tennessee cop, including married female officer, fired after repeated wild sex romps. This lady was essentially just getting passed around.
Wait, including married female officer?
No, she was married.
Wait, hold on, go back up.
Yeah.
Go back up.
No, she didn't. I don't think she had sex with another female officer.
No,
I think she
yeah.
was just married.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah.
reads like. Tennessee cops, including married female
Yeah.
officer, fired after. Oh, it's saying like there were Tennessee cops fired,
Yeah.
including a married female. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So it essentially just took place at like hotels and parties with other officers. And dude, it was like a straight up like porn. Like it was just like it was
Yeah.
like swingers club of just a bunch of Tennessee cops.
Yeah, it was like a real life porn situation.
This leads me to believe that she just got caught. And also, how much does this happen a lot?
I was thinking the same thing because like this is the time it happened. And the reason it's so sensational is because cops are supposed to be, the ones upholding and representing morality, I suppose. But this story just goes to show like they're just like anybody else, and an easy piece of ass for a lot of them is just like whatever, let's go.
Officials began to look into the swinging personal lives of how do you pronounce that? Amorous officers when
Amorous.
I don't know why I'm the one reading this. You read it, Christian.
Wait, hold on. I don't even know where you're reading it from.
From right here.
Officials began to look into the swinging personal lives of the amorous officers when Laverne Mayor Jason Cole received a tip that Hall was sleeping with several fellow cops and had a threesome with Magliocco and his wife, among other claims. When asked about the tip, Magliocco admitted to having sex with Hall on numerous occasions, the report said.
Fucking Christ. It's just
Yeah.
like, hey, man, have you heard of Hall just banging everybody? And he's like, yeah, I have. Right here, baby.
Yeah.
Dap me up.
Yeah.
Dap me up, chief. That is so crazy to me that, like, okay, I think that it's, you know, is it pretty, I mean, it's taboo to, like, sleep with your coworkers, but it's the fact that it's they're cops. Like, that's what's so weird to me.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like held to a higher standard, right?
Yeah.
But it's just nope.
Nah, man, they're people like you and me. You know, they cheat on their wives. They
yeah.
I just was
Just the craziness, man. It's like a whole sex romp, dude, and like fucking they lost a lot of, you know, they fired a lot of people.
oh, for sure. My whole thing is that her husband stuck with her this entire time.
He's a cuck.
Yeah, that was tried and true 101 cuckolding right there.
Yeah, I would have left.
That's a one and done for sure.
He's probably into that.
Yeah, for real, multiple. Like
Multiple.
she slept, how many was it? It was like
7 or 8, yeah.
fuck, bro. Nah.
That's a one and done
My bitch
situation.
ran through. I'm done with her.
Yeah, man.
It's just because she was married during this, so it's just like I wish I was a fly in the room when it like when she was talking like this is why I did it, or just like it's always this would always brings me back to like people who, especially in our age group, as they keep getting influenced by other people, like with like my whole thing is like polyamorous relationships. Like I will die on the hill that they just never work. They never do.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
You know, I've known a couple people who've went for it, and it just, yeah, like you said, it doesn't work out. There's too many different power dynamics.
Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly what it is, but I think the problem is if this is your thing, it's really shitty that you discovered it whilst married.
Maybe that's like a key thing for this person. Maybe she's like only into it because she's married, because it's so taboo.
That
you know,
sucks.
like she's breaking some sort of boundary that she's not supposed to. You know,
It is pretty interesting. Did you know that I mean, this could be totally wrong. I read somewhere, but apparently in Arizona, like Taboo was one of the highest rated porn searches off of like websites. And it's like, I'm just like, I've never been interested in that ever. Like fucking like stepmoms or like stepsisters or
Yeah,
like,
man. People are just weird, you know.
and especially when I was working, like my parents instilled it way, even like my first jobs instilled like, you definitely should not shit where you eat. You know what I mean?
You guys don't like taboo porn?
No, I don't. I don't know about you. I
Like-
don't.
like some Squid Game stuff, you know.
No, I mean like stepsister and like stepmom and shit like that. Like that's just, I guess it never really bothered me because like I'm just like it's not real, you know.
Yeah, and I never really had like a stepsister and a stepmom. So,
Me either.
You know.
Me either. I was just like,
Unfortunately, I did, and my friends are disgusting. So
There you go. Yeah.
that's another reason why I'm also not into it. But
your stepmom.
yeah, it's always like yes, like it's not real, like for sure, but it's the way they talk to each other, bro. You know, or it's
Oh
like,
yeah, they're trying to.
I'm
like,
only your stepmom. Just like that's so weird. Like even if I was in that situation in real life, like I'd be like, as soon as you said that, we're done. Like this is weird to me now.
Right.
And if it is not real, just watch regular shit. Like that's like always been my whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you know, personally, for me, porn is something that I want to get out of because I feel like it's not genuine. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing involved in there that really has any sort of like good human, you know, feeding. There's nothing there that helps supplement your mind and
Well,
soul.
it's a
you know?
euphoria boost for sure.
Yeah, it's just it's a quick little high.
it's mental junk food like cartoons.
Exactly,
Like,
mental junk food.
Yeah, no, for
that's a
sure.
good way
I
of putting it.
actually stopped. I stopped masturbating for a good 6 months.
No shit.
Yeah, just
Good for you.
Stopped. Just and it was so funny.
Did you like gain 20 pounds in muscle and like
No.
fucking learn how to levitate?
Yeah, I was definitely built different. I just stopped because I was doing it a lot, and we've talked about this on the show before. I just wanted to stop because it really just was like, it was like, this is my dopamine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this is the only thing. Like, it got to the point where I was like, I can't wait to clock out of work so I can go bust a nut. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
such a bummer.
I've been there.
And so I had to stop. But honestly, like, I didn't feel like I didn't want to say like I didn't feel better, but I told all of my friends like updates all the time. Guys, it's been 46 days since I've jerked out. Like, just like everyone was like, we know, Jacob. Like, it's just I stopped for a while too. I did start again after my most recent ex and I broke up. I don't know why.
Well, I get it, man.
I feel like I fell off the wagon. I didn't go back into like a fucking I didn't go like into a cum dungeon and like, you know what I mean? Just go berserk. Yeah, I'm not like Pee Wee Herman in the movie.
is a free elf.
Yeah, like no, I just started again. But like I agree with you where I do definitely feel like it is no different than like that cigarette after a long day at work,
Right.
or like it's that double cheeseburger you shouldn't eat. It's a decadence for sure. But like I was just wasting so much time, and that's why I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate how, I don't know. There's a fine line, but I appreciate that more like amateur creators are kind of given their own power to create their own content, you know? So it's not necessarily run by like studios and people who are trying to constantly push the boundaries. And that's the problem I find with it, is that like people are constantly trying to push the boundaries into super hyper unrealistic territory.
Right. And that was the thing that worried me too, is because one thing we've also talked about is, as time progresses, younger and younger people are having access to the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a joke amongst my friends. Like, I didn't get internet access until I got my first Xbox, which was, we were in high school. Like,
No shit.
Yeah. Like we didn't have internet. That's just how it was. And that was at my dad's house. At my mom's house, we didn't have internet at all. I didn't experience having like an internet router until I moved out of my house.
Yeah, man.
And
you know what? That's probably a good thing, because the internet fucked me up.
Oh,
when
for
I was
sure.
young. I was about 14 or 15, and I was seeing like uncensored gore videos and shit like that.
Oh, I had friends that would show me that shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
and it's like,
Christian did fucking crazy fucking guy. Dude, you just a normal day, you fucking ride your scooter over to your best friend's house. You're like, dude, have you seen these cartel videos where they just chop this lady's head off? Like, yeah, that's
Like,
one
you want
thing.
to see a guy's head get cut off with a chainsaw?
Yeah,
yeah.
but my worry is like I worry for like my younger brother. My younger brother's 14, and it's like I don't want like my fear. That's when I started doing research. When I stopped masturbating, was like I started doing research as to what effects it can have, and like you said, it makes very unrealistic situations where you become fucked up sexually because a casual hookup with your girlfriend is not your teacher who's gonna fuck the shit out of you after class.
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
she may or may not stick a finger in your butt, but she's probably not going to.
right.
Have you
know.
guys made that mistake
What?
of like kind of getting a little spoiled by porn and then like kind of going into the bedroom like with a little bit higher expectations?
Oh,
than
100%.
normal?
It started messing with my sexuality.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But it can sometimes it can serve a good purpose, because you can go in and like, I'm the fucking champ.
Yeah.
I got these moves, bro.
Yeah.
I got the flying eagle or whatever. Where you're on like the tips of your fingers and your toes, and you're just like,
Oh, what was that one from the last one? The Italian chandelier.
Oh yeah, we looked up Urban Dictionary like sex positions on the episode 69, and yeah, I could promise you that like kids my brother's age are just like, yeah, I did that shit last Saturday. Like that's fucking nothing, dude.
yeah,
It's like
it's crazy.
I think that there's this comedian named Tom Papa, and I think he said it so well. He's like, when I was a kid, it's like we had to go to the woods to find like my friend's Playboy magazines that he stole from his dad. Like there was like a secret passcode. You know what I mean? It's just like I show some 12-year-old today a foot job video. He's like, I was into that when I was 8, but like I kind of moved on past that. Like things are just getting so crazy, and that's why I stopped doing it, because I was like, yeah, it warped my reality of sexuality.
It's different even like for us now. Like we even have stories like that now compared to kids nowadays, because it's like you think about it, like I didn't have a cell phone until I was like a freshman in high school.
Same.
So it's like if I wanted to watch porn, like I had to steal the laptop,
Yeah,
or like go to the PC.
I got caught a couple times, man, because I thought I scrubbed my history good, but my mom works in technology, so
Oh, fuck,
she's
you're done.
she's computer savvy.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
she was checking that shit like periodically, and there was a couple times where she dug up, just like I would go down the rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Because it was like a binge. You're like you're not doing it ever, and then you're like, all right, maybe just one And then that one chip turns into a whole bag.
Oh
of
no,
chips.
it's a straight up meth addiction. Like the first
Yeah.
time I literally looked up fucking boobs on Google. Like it went from there where it's just like just one time. I just want to see what they look like. That's all. That's all. And then next week you're fucking back and you want to see what a fucking vagina looks
You're
like.
like shaking.
Right. Oh, dude. No, I remember to this day, if you were to ask me, like, what is the most afraid you've ever been in your life? So my parents were not tech savvy. Like I said, we didn't really have internet. The only reason we had internet with my dad is because of work, for his work, right? But he had one laptop. And I was a latchkey kid, so I'd come home at like 2. My parents wouldn't come home till like 6. And you know, when you're between the ages of like 12 and or like I'd say like 11 and 14, you're the horniest you've ever been in your life.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
man.
horny.
yeah, pretty much. And like you don't know, but you don't know what it is, right? So you are looking up arbitrary things. And I'll never forget one day we're at dinner and my dad comes in from like the office and he goes, "Yeah, I gotta go get my computer checked out. It's acting all weird and slow
Oh,
now."
no.
Dude, I have never felt fear like that. And to this day, I've gotten in multiple car accidents. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
I've never known fear like that. And they probably would never admit it to me, but I'm sure if my parents were here, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, for sure. Like we knew you were
Oh,
looking
yes.
at." But like, I didn't know what incognito mode was. I didn't know that you just.
Yeah, you were just flying. You were just surfing the web, bro. And
Well,
you
my
know
older
what?
sister told me. My older sister was like, "Oh no, like because one day because she was an anime nerd growing up, and you know, like back in like early YouTube where you just had like just like fucking like music videos of anime, like Naruto scenes, but it's like
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
yeah. So I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. The computer like knows." She's like, "Yeah, it like does like it remembers your history." And right there, just oof, like I was like, "What?" like, yeah, fear. Like
Yeah, there's a saying my dad tells me that I keep in mind is that the anticipation of death is much worse than death itself.
wow, that's pretty cool. That's a very dad thing to say.
Yeah. Very
That's-
wise words, but it definitely applies to getting caught looking at porn for sure.
I've never been caught. I think there was one time in high school where you know what, I was totally caught for sure because like she, my mom, she was just like came, "Jay, I swear," and she stopped. She goes, "Oh my god," and closes the door. That's probably the one. So I have been caught before.
Pop.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
But that is fear. Like that is fear incarnate for a young boy for
Yeah.
sure. It's just because
You need that.
because it's so embarrassing.
It
Like, if
helps
you're-
you grow up.
And if you're not my friends, I don't even want you to know what I look up. You know what I mean? Like, I remember just being the fuck. Like we were all deviants. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Just,
man,
like,
yeah.
the things that you would look at and just like, yeah, it's the worst. And now I'm afraid that it's just like I'm trying to have normal. I'm trying to get married and have kids. I'm not trying to think of something else while I'm with my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Sexy feet, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Well, you know, maybe a little bit. But,
maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
But yeah, there's a whole part of my brain from the age of 14 to 18 I wish I could just scrub. You know, I wish I could just get in there.
Oh, we
and
talk
just,
about it
like,
all the time.
Get it out. You know,
It's kind of one of those things where it's just like, would you rather have your 2010 to 2013 Facebook history like released to the public, or like just straight up like spend 5 years in the hardest jail of all time?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's the scary. Like you look back at like your memories and you're just like never again. I almost want to sue Facebook for even showing me this shit.
I have no shame.
Oh, I have so much shame.
I mean, I did,
you got to live with it. You
I did a
know?
lot of cringy shit, but it's like it did happen. You know?
Yeah. It's the truth,
It's
you know.
like, I'll just remind everyone that I was really cringy when I was in high school. you
Yeah.
know,
Who
whatever.
wasn't?
yeah, who was it?
Who the fuck
Yeah,
wasn't?
that's what
There's
I'm
not
saying.
one person who wasn't a complete fucking idiot.
You know what it is? It's not so much my Facebook post because yeah, everyone did that. It's more so just my first ever like flirtatious like adventures. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
those are the worst.
The messages. I remember my first cell phone. I had one of those Razor flip phones.
Hell
I was
yeah.
So excited. I was 14 and I got this girl's phone number from Nevada. I don't know how I got it. I think
You don't know her. She goes to another school.
Yeah, I didn't know her. I think my cousin supplied it to me because he knew her somehow. So he's like, "I already got a girlfriend, so you know if you want to talk to her or whatever." And I probably scared the shit out of her because I was calling her all the time because the first conversation we had was pretty cool, and she had her friends on the phone, so I was able to anonymously talk to girls
Yeah.
without the judgment of going back to school and then making fun of me. You
Just
know?
knowing that a girl is interested in you would just give you the hardest erection you've ever had in your
Oh,
life.
yeah,
And you
you're
know what I
like,
mean?
"Dude,
the fact that they respond, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I remember, like, I'm bad at it now just with everybody. Like, I'm a quick texter because I just hate being left on red, you know? But in high school, I might as well have just had my phone out like this and just waited, just bing, and then start, you know?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I was obsessive with girls back then,
Yeah.
man. And like, I look back at it now. I'm like, fuck them hoes, man. Like, I wish I could have the same attitude now that I have about women, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's just you learn over time.
You want to kick the shit out of your old self for sure.
Oh,
Like, of
I
just,
would love to.
yeah.
I would love to go back and just beat my ass, you know?
I would think that, like, looking back at it, I never thought I was more sexier than when I was in that band. You know what I mean? And I just want to go back in time and be like, you're a fucking loser, dude. Like, whatever it is you're saying to girls right now, like, you got to knock it off right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst. I don't know.
Focus on yourself, playa.
And this is something I wanted to talk about too. You know, we were talking about, you know, like masturbating and getting desensitized to actual real sex versus, you know, watching pornography. I was watching pornography recently, and I saw right on the like you know, you have your phone right there at the very bottom before I hit full screen, right? It said connect interactive toy.
Hell yeah.
Which I went down the rabbit hole. There are toys provided that like have like a sub promotion from Pornhub where there are some videos that are literally programmed for like men's sex toys to match the rhythm
Whoa.
of what you're watching.
Holy shit.
How fucking crazy is that?
I've heard that they've made some pretty crazy advancements in male sex toys.
Yeah.
I saw this thing. You and I are both fucking deviants that frequent iFunny.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember
we're doxxed. We're done. We're canceled. Yeah.
I remember seeing this like thing. Do you remember where it was like this toy is ruining men's lives? It was like this fleshlight, but it had like these like little ribs in it that like apparently like were able to mimic like a blowjob like so accurately to the point where like men were just like calling out of work like
Oh, no.
and like the Amazon like
what I'm saying.
comments or people just like this shit is I'm never leaving my house
Oh,
again.
dude, it was a fucking banana cleaner. That's what it was marketed as.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
It
about.
was
I've
banana
seen that.
cleaner, yeah.
But you know what, man? I'm
It was a banana cleaner.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
knew what they were making it for,
yeah.
but
I'm outing myself here.
Yeah.
But I've tried a couple things and nothing works for me.
Really?
Like nothing
Yeah.
works for me unless there's a human attached to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I need like, you know, like I said, I'm married, been with the same woman for 8 years. We've
Oh,
been
good for
married
you.
for about 2 years. and
Congratulations.
It's just like that's all that works for me anymore. Like
Yeah.
I just maybe when I was like 15, if I had access,
I would-
and
I would-
they didn't even build fleshlights.
I would have
back
dropped
then.
out. I would have dropped out of school.
Yeah,
Are you
dude,
serious?
I'd be
Yeah, I
like-
would. No one would ever see me again. Are you serious? I would just be a fucking crazy person. My balls would never have a single ounce of semen in them. Are you serious, dude? Yeah, no, that's insane. And you know what my thing is that I'm sure they feel good, but I internalize a lot of things and like I'm too focused on what a third person view of me looks like to enjoy.
I know what you mean.
Right, so
So
it's like-
it's almost like God is watching.
Like 100%, if someone was just like, hey, I won't say anything, but in that room is a full VR porn setup and I will let you enjoy it to the fullest extent. Even then, I'd be like, if someone catches me right now, and I just imagine me just like laying back with the fucking VR and I'm all just like doing this. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and, like you always see like these posts about like women that are just like, we can artificially inseminate ourselves. So it's like we don't even need it anymore. It's like, bitch, we don't even need women anymore. Like no one needs anybody anymore.
yeah,
Like,
you don't need anybody.
all I need is a 4x4 studio apartment with my VR porn girlfriend, and like I'll never leave my house ever again.
yeah, that shit's ruining humanity. Though,
It is,
man.
dude.
I'm not a fan. You know,
No.
I believe in human connection, and I think people need.
To touch grass.
Yeah, to fucking touch grass and breathe oxygen and shit.
Right.
Yeah, man.
that's what we
It's-
were talking about last episode.
Yeah.
Episode 69. The whole like premise of the episode was 69 me up here and then down there.
Right.
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 Fuck my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta finesse me a little bit. I gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is troublesome, and of course we're talking about one specific thing. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that are just ruining society, but a lot of it is just like what the internet has become. Like I always make like the reference, like my dad was a big video, like he was the guy that had like the NES and like all that stuff when he was the cool kid that had all that shit, right? And it's just like I want to go back in time and just be like, dude, are you prepared to see like, and just show him the most recent Warzone trailer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
not even cool.
It's
anymore.
becoming scary.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm terrified. And these kids are growing up in this environment, so it's normal to them.
Yeah.
You know, and now I know how my parents felt. Now I know how my grandparents felt. and
What's the
it's
new
just-
What's the new thing we were saying? The new term Riz. Are you familiar with the Riz?
I've never heard that.
Yeah. So apparently, I had to ask my 14-year-old brother. I said, "Hey, what does Riz mean?" And apparently, when someone is rizzed up or like they got the Riz, that's just you're just really good at pulling bitches. Like that's what it's called.
Oh,
And I was
right
like,
on.
wow, there's officially like canon lingo that I have nothing about, and I've never
Yeah.
felt older in my life.
Well, I wouldn't even know anything about that.
Right.
Anyway. So,
Right. I just been on, like, I was on TikTok, and it was just like when you're rizzed up, and I literally knocked on my brother's door, and I was like, what does this mean? I felt like my mom. I felt like I was literally, I might as well just been looking at my phone like this, like, just like, this the mom thing. Like, and so I am feeling older, but even like, yeah, like,
even that word just makes me want to go like off myself right now.
right. Right. But that's why you have good outlets like music and, you know what I mean, stuff like that. It's like I'm trying to like explain, like my brother, I love the guy, but like he's 14. How many favorite bands did you have younger than 14? You know what I mean? Like I remember my first favorite band was NSYNC when I was like 6 years old.
Same.
I loved boy bands.
My
dude.
dad made fun of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he would like relentlessly roast me because
You know
I'd be
what's-
listening to Backstreet Boy and I had a Furby,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd be in my bedroom with the Furby, like Backstreet. And
Yeah.
my dad's like, "Oh, you are so gay." My son is gay.
My son is gay. Yeah, and you know, same. You know what's interesting is I've actually noticed that a lot of musically inclined people have said the same thing. They're like, I loved boy bands, like Aaron
Yeah.
Carter, 68 Degrees, fucking NSYNC, but you know stuff like that. And it's like, you could ask my brother right now, like, what do you like to listen to? I don't know. What kind of music do you like? I don't know.
Oh,
This is weird. It's weird. I'm like, dude, you don't
Yeah.
like. Are you a real person?
yeah.
Like, what an NPC thing to
Yeah.
to say. Like,
I'm proud of my sister. She just turned 17,
Mm.
and she's a great musician. She got into orchestra. She plays the
Oh, wow.
ukulele. She plays guitar and bass. She sings a little bit,
Mm.
and she loves like new. I didn't know there was a new phase of Midwest emo. She was telling me about it.
no,
This band called Mom Jeans, I guess she was showing me.
I've seen them 3 times.
Oh, have you?
I love that band.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So she'd love.
I'm trying to keep hip and young with the young kids.
Yeah, she would love that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was telling me about them and she showed me a few bands. So it's nice to see that she, you know, someone of her age is as passionate about music as like people I knew.
See,
you
and that's
know.
what I'm saying. Like, that's how you can feel that you're getting old, is because you are starting to reminisce like that, where it's just like, I remember being a kid, because I didn't discover it first. Like my friend would be like, "Did you ever heard of cattle decapitation?" I'm like, shut up. And then I'd go home.
I
and
love
listen
that
to,
band.
Yeah, yeah, same. It's like so. But I'm just saying that it's just like when you hear like a younger person, and they're like they express their passions, you get excited because like you remember. Like
Right.
discovering that album. Like I
Yeah.
remember where I was when I heard Necropolis for the first time by Black Dahlia Murder. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
Yeah.
like I will never forget when I heard, you know, American football for the first time. You know, it's just like
Right.
some dumb shit, but it's just like when you hear that in someone else, you know? Like my sister, she's also 17. She's gonna be 18 soon, but it's like she's got a new car and she's always bumping up and down the street and stuff like that. But she's listening to Hypnotize by System of a Down.
that's
I'm like,
amazing.
who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like, that's so crazy.
That's
Because she
awesome.
says 3 words to me because she's a teenage girl and they're all assholes. You know what I mean? Like, they don't give a shit about their family. They're just like, oh, whatever. Okay, leave me alone. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like, I was there. Like, I want to talk to you about this, but you won't listen to me.
Oh, you know, they got to break through that, man. Like teenagers, fucking. Here I am.
Then we
being an
get
old
pretty
guy.
dicey. Your sister got in trouble because she was listening to, what's that guy? Who was the guy that your mom caught your sister listening to? Corpse.
Oh, fucking.
You heard that guy?
Corpse Husband.
You heard of
Fuck
Corpse
that
Husband?
guy.
He's the guy.
Never.
He's like the rap guy that's just like super guttural. It's like it's like that. It's kind of like that dirty boy like trap rap, you
Yeah.
know. But it's very suggestive lyrics, and so it's like, how old was she?
She was like 13, 14.
And he has very God fearing parents, so it's like she's like they're just talking about choke me and fuck me. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it could get a little dicey too, you know. Like I'm sure my mom wasn't stoked that I was into like death metal.
Yeah, same. I was, you know, funny thing is I got my dad into death metal because I was bumping Brain Drill and fucking all
Oh my
kinds
god!
of
Don't even
crazy
get me started
shit.
on brain. I can't believe you just said that
Yeah,
to me, dude.
dude.
I had never wanted a 6-string bass more than when I saw there was this old guy on YouTube doing covers of that, and it was just like, I was
Yeah,
like,
man.
what is? Were you into like tech death metal?
Yeah, I got really into tech death, and nowadays I like the old school kind of tech death, like not so much Archspire,
Like old
kinda shit.
Obscura stuff, kind of.
Old Obscura, Necrophagist, shit like that. You know, that's kind of a little more
Spawn of Possession.
Spawn of Possession. Fuck yeah.
yeah.
They're one of my favorite tech death bands of all time, and the reason I love them is because they have bad guitar tone. So I love that, and I'm like, dude, yes, like this is it because they're using what they have, and that's what I really appreciate about that. Like that era of tech
Not
death.
very overproduced.
Exactly. They
Right.
just used what they had. They wrote those fucking songs.
See, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I was into tech death because to me it wasn't about, we were talking about like stoner drone metal, or it doesn't. If you're a intermediate guitar player, you can play most of that music. But to me in high school, maybe you can agree, the more skill it took to play the music, the
better
more
it
I was.
was.
Yeah, the more I
Yeah.
was into it because I couldn't do it.
yeah.
But now as almost in my 30s, yeah, I would never listen to Brain Drill and just I gotta relax and listen to fucking
Right.
Brain Drill.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now I can listen to some nice calm music, but back then, dude, I was like, how the fuck do you know what I mean? Like I remember seeing their bass player just like using both fucking like an organ. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So
I think there's a fine line. Lately, like I still like shit that I can't do. And I've been getting into a phase where I'm trying to learn how to shred because I can write riffs all day. But now I want to. I'm like finally into the pentatonic '80s shred shit. I'm having a big Van Halen phase, so I'm learning how to play all this shit.
Christian made us a super dope road trip playlist. That's just like a lot of like bro metal from like the 80s and like just like a lot of just like.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah! I just learned that song too.
What's the one that is your bar fighting song? You're like the Bob Seger song.
It's Ramblin' Gamblin' Man.
My Bob Seger.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that song.
He said that. Yeah, he said that to me at like 3 a.m. He's like, I just want to start a bar fight right now, dude. Like, yeah, so it's like you start appreciating other stuff, but I do remember like as a kid, like the edgier it was, the more I was like, fuck you, like.
Oh yeah, it's like you get that like fuck. I've never heard anything like this in my life, But if you can strike a fine balance, a perfect band example for me would be Revocation.
I've never heard of them.
You should check them out, man. They've gone through like several iterations of themselves, but they're able to strike a fine line between technical shit and just writing really cool songs.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about to me. If you can write a cool song, I don't care how good, how bad of a player you are. If you're like Kurt Cobain, and you just write basically, I would consider them like early. I would even call them pop punk for the time, just dark pop, because they wrote really catchy songs and there was nothing to them, but they were some of the best songs ever written. So I can appreciate that shit too,
Yeah, I look back at what I used to be really into. I don't know. You still you listen to pretty much anything that you did in high school, yeah? I mean, is there a band that you were really into in high school, Christian, that you were just like, oh no, you couldn't catch me dead now?
Atreyu?
Okay.
Yeah, no, that dude's voice now, like listen to him, like he is trying so hard and
Yeah.
not getting very far with it.
I feel that. That's how I am with Avenged Sevenfold. Like,
Dude, thank you. I got into
God.
an argument with my roommate the other day. I was like, they're just so mid now. Like,
the guitar playing is excellent.
Yeah.
But Matt Shadow's voice is like, fuck, man, come on.
Once I realized, well, not realized, I knew they were like nicknames, but like as I got older, I was like, these nicknames are pretty fucking gay.
It worked for them at the time.
Yeah,
though.
for sure. And everyone wanted that guitar, that Schecter. There's like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Just like
dude, Sinister Gates. I was just talking about this with my guitar player. He's an instantly recognizable player.
Yeah.
You hear his solos, no one plays like him.
That's how I feel about the drums for that band too.
Oh, the Rev,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy was a legend.
But dude, you put Backcountry on in 2011 with me in the fucking room.
oh
it's
yeah,
game over.
losing it.
Yeah, I'm losing it.
Yeah,
I
and
used-
I was telling my wife all of their nicknames the other day, and I was showing her pictures of all of them, and then telling her their nicknames, and she's like, "Stop,
Yeah.
please stop, I can't take it."
What's your opinion on Ghost?
I liked their first two albums in high school, and I got really into them. And I thought it was a nice little break from like your typical metal thing. I liked what they were doing because they were kind of like a modern day Kiss, in my opinion.
yeah.
That's a good way. That's a good way to put
They
it.
had
yeah.
like a Blue Oyster Cult sound.
Yeah.
Those first two albums to me were like really forward thinking, but now I feel like they're kind of played out personally.
They're definitely like, so I'm a big fan.
That's
of
why I
Ghost.
asked.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, their newer stuff. So what I appreciate about them is that like their whole, it's like the lore behind the band.
Yeah.
Because like their whole thing is like it's all Tobias Forge, like he's
Yeah.
the singer, right? But like they try to make it to where it's like this like succession of like satanic
the
popes and
Popeye Emeritus.
Yeah. So he takes like a different persona in every album or whatever that they come out with, and everything like it's supposed to be like that Pope is like changing the direction of the band, and he's gonna make things like his own thing.
I like that.
Like there's gonna be some changes around here, kind of.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's why like the most recent one, fuck, I can't even remember what the album's called, but it's like a lot more. I don't even know what you would call it. It's like more poppy than usual.
Well, the whole thing is that they call it Scooby-Doo chasing music. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what it sounds
But I sent him a thing on Instagram. I follow Hard Times. You know about that page?
Yeah,
it's like
Hard Times is hilarious.
And I sent him one. It was like we spent time with a Ghost fan because his parents said it was okay. Just like it's like just little kids like Ghost and Christian. You know?
Yeah. No, I love that campy shit, but there's a certain point. Like, I'm not one of those guys who's like, "I fucking Ghost sucks."
No,
you know? Like,
I think you and I think all three of us can honestly relate. Where we're not big music haters.
no.
Like that's my biggest pet peeve about people where they're just like, who the fuck put Dave Matthews Band on? You know what I mean? Just like, bro, relax. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
calm
And-
down.
And the same thing with like, it's like how many times did you hear in high school? I listen to everything, but except for country and rap. It's just like, dude, those are the worst people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was
like-
me like the last like 10 years.
But it's just like you grow to kind of appreciate everything, and you being a
Or at least tolerate it.
right. But even you being a musician, I'm sure you can agree with me where it's just like you can kind of like you start to listen a little bit more.
Yeah, you hear the nuances
Right.
and everything, and
Like, oh, that's cool. The way
start
they
getting
change that
into
up, that's
production
cool.
and all
Yeah.
that. There's something to learn from almost everything. There's some music I really cannot tolerate.
Oh, for sure.
Like
yeah.
Cardi B and shit like that. You know, it's just like, to me, that is so fucking pandering. Or like, who's that country artist? He sings at the Applebee's on a date night.
I have no fucking
Oh
clue.
my god, yeah, that shit is just like, it's so bad.
I don't know. It
It's
sounded like a
so-
bop for a second.
It's so intentionally bad. But then I hear my little niece singing it,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not, I guess.
I like the way that you put it though, like pandering. I mean, and it's not just specifically with that music, but like my whole thing is that it's just not my thing. You know, like I used to be that gatekeeper for sure, but like now as I get older, I'm just like whatever. It's just like it's not my thing. But you still have people in your life. I have multiple people in my life where it's just like, let me show you this song. Oh, that's cool. Wait, you didn't think it was the greatest thing ever? You know, I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, like for example, I'm a proud, unfortunate Tool fan. I'm that fucking guy.
I like Tool.
Well, no, but I was that guy in high school. It's like, Lateralis is, you know what I mean? Just like I was that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And now I don't get like, for example, like I know it's fine. It's not gonna do. Yeah, you're good, man.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good. Like for example, when she's totally about to. Is she gonna do it? Oh, she's just laying down.
She's just
Okay.
chilling.
All right. Like when Tool finally said, fine, we'll go on Spotify. Because they stopped. They didn't do it for a long time because they were like, our music is intentionally meant to be listened to in a certain order. And I don't like that it's random, you know? But they finally went on. I woke up that day to like 50 memes sent to me. Just like, Tool's on Spotify, be that fucking guy, you know? But it's just like, I'm at the point where I'm just like, what does it fucking matter? Like,
Yeah.
whether you listen to Noisecore or Cardi B or fucking Tech Death, I'm just like, let fucking people enjoy themselves. But don't be a dick when I don't like it. That's my whole thing.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. It's like, I'm not gonna fucking make someone's question their life decisions about listening to a song.
But you're wrong, and I hate you.
Right.
yeah.
I'll feel it and think it.
Yeah, but you can't hear my brain, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the fuck out of here, Esteban.
yeah.
That was so sick. That was the Rit. That was called Spectral Aura. So cool, man.
Thank you.
Holy bejesus, that was sweet. I love the horses.
Horses,
Yeah,
yes.
that was pretty dope. So what was the inspiration for that one?
We just filmed it at my parents' ranch. And we were-
Dude, yeah, sight on scene, baby. Hell yeah.
yeah, we were just going for like a Metallica Garage Days feel because the song is like super fucking Metallica inspired.
Okay.
If you couldn't tell by the oh yes and
Yeah.
fucking rhythm, you know.
the dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun,
yeah, it's
yeah.
a pretty Metallica kind of song. So we were just going for that old school vibe, you know. Went over pretty well. It was directed by our boy John Hassemeyer. He's frequents the local scene, and he used to play in a band called A Continent Named Coma, and does some good work. So shout out to John.
Hell yeah.
If you guys are
man.
looking for a good music video, he'll hook you up.
Hell yeah, dude. That was really sweet.
Thank you.
It's cool to see you on the being the front man there. I didn't even know you could do those. That's pretty sweet, man.
Thanks,
That's
brother.
cool. Fuck, and you had the Jackson guitar too. God, that was metal as shit, man.
Yeah, man. Actually, I was playing a Epiphone Explorer. Daniel had the Jackson.
Yeah, that
V.
solo was fucking
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah,
man.
he's the shit, man. He plays in another band called Show and Tell as well as the bass player. So kind of like heavy metal '80s throwback, but
Hell yeah.
he's just on another fucking plane of existence when it
Wow,
comes to playing
dude.
guitar, man. He's amazing.
Well, if you
and fuck him, by the way. Yeah, he's a dick.
yeah, hell yeah. Well,
Hope
if
he,
you
hope he dies.
all right.
No, he's my best friend. Love that guy.
That's great, man. Well, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Spectral Aura by The Rit. If you like what you heard, you can check them out at A Night with the Savages. That is April 15th. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and that's is that like an are you guys opening? You guys closing?
There's like a bunch of bands on that bill.
Okay.
I think there's like 8 or 9 bands, so I don't know how exactly that's gonna go over, but I think we're like the 4th or 5th band. So
And-
it's gonna be just like a bunch of short sets from a bunch of heavy ass bands.
And where's that show at?
Pub Rock, Pub Rock.
Pub Rock,
Yeah,
baby. Okay, very
yeah.
cool. Well, like I said, it is called the A Night with the Savages, April 15th at the Pub Rock. You could check out the Rit, the music that you just heard. Well, I would like to hope that you're going to play that song live.
Definitely.
Yes?
Fuck
Hell yeah.
all the time, man.
I'm going to have to jam that. You guys on Spotify too?
Yeah, we got Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere you can find music, YouTube. You know, if you're into it, check it out.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be added to the workout playlist. I like that.
Right on, brother.
Fuck
Glad
yeah,
you
man.
liked it.
No, I loved it a lot, and I could definitely see the influences there and stuff like that. It's very, very nice and chuggy. You know, makes you want to make that face. You know, just that
Yeah, man.
fucking ooh, that intro bass. I could definitely hear that reminded me of like the God That Failed from Metallica. It's
Yeah,
like,
man.
doo-doo-doo-doo, you know, like
Yeah,
that.
hell yeah.
Pretty sweet, man. It looks like you guys have a lot of chemistry too. Looks like
Definitely, man. This is a great fucking group of people, and like we've been through a few different members, and even the guys that were in the band in the past. Shout out to Jacob Miles. He produces all of our music. If you need a good producer, he is the fucking man.
Well, we need a fucking good producer to come over. Yeah, come over
Ja-
to the show.
Jacob Miles, he'd probably love to work with you guys.
Well, hold on.
he's the shit.
I'm the only Jacob, so he's got to be like Jake or Jay.
Jake's good. He's Ginger, so you know.
Okay, Ginger.
Couldn't be any more different.
We'll call him Ginger J. I like that. Hey, Ginger
Yeah.
J, pull that up.
Jake the Ginger.
Also got to give a shout out to our former bass player Ryan Potter. Also, bad motherfucker. You know. So yeah.
So was the idea to always shoot that music video at the ranch?
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things. Like we were trying to think about a spot, and I always wanted to do a video at the ranch. We actually have another one. If you check us out on YouTube, that was done a lot. It's a little more high scale of a video, but it was with our older lineup. But the idea was like just do it and get it fucking done, you know. And like so, that's kind of what we focus on. We try to have a quick process with shit and not really like sit around on our hands and try to make the perfect video. We're just like we found a great videographer and we have a good location. Who cares how it goes down? We're just going to make it work. So.
Now, from the time of shooting to the time of release, what was kind of the turnaround on that? How long did that? I've never been. So when my band finally made a music video, I was no longer a part of the band. So one day, I was replaced because I said, fuck you guys. Also, shout out to Aaron's dad. I'll never forget at Aaron's wedding. He was like, Aaron's dad met my mom for the first time.
Oh,
and
no.
was like, no. He was like, you know, this kid, he's a good kid. He realized that whole band was bullshit before everyone else did. But anyways, so I was always curious. So you have the idea, you're on set, like you're ready to go. You're gonna make the music video. How long did it take for that to be posted?
Not long. We got the song done. I wrote bulk of the song, and we kind of trade off on who writes what because we all have a backlog of music behind us. But we'll just bring something to the table, get it produced by our boy Jacob, and go through everything with a fine comb, which usually takes about a month, maybe 2.
Yeah.
The video itself, we scheduled a month in advance. We did the video in 1 day, and then John got it back to us in like 3 weeks, and then we put it out. So it was not long at all. Maybe.
Well, it
like
seems
3
like
or 4 months.
you have a very niche, like a tight group. Like we're not just the music, but for the producing and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got a good team.
I know that sending that out, kind of like a third party, could be dicey, which is why I wanted to ask that question because I've heard nightmare stories where it's like, oh, we shot this music video, but 6 months later it came out.
Yeah, you got to be careful with who you work with, and I let John know up front that we appreciate open communication and we don't really like wasting time, and he was very respectful of that because no shade for I'll just say it, man. We've worked with other people in the past and artists, doing just regular art for our shit, whatever, who have excuses. And there's nothing more frustrating than having something almost ready, but you're waiting on a third party. Like
See, I've never been there, but as a local Arizona musician at one point, I can definitely tell you that I have been very frustrated with Arizona promoters who are hey, here's these 50 tickets. You high school kids, you got to sell them all. And if you don't sell them all, you owe us for the tickets.
No, I would never work with anyone who made you pay them to play his show. You're the one bringing in the money. No matter how much it is, they took a risk on booking you. They should assume the responsibility for any losses that they might receive for booking a band in high school.
You know what I like about this conversation we're having? We have such good chemistry. If nothing works out for our career, we could just be those two old heads that just try to promote our younger bands now. We could just be those guys now. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, man. Like I would love to do that, something like that. You know what's a long-term goal I have that was actually inspired by my lead guitar player Daniel. He's a tribal member of the Oldham Nation, Gila River. So he had this idea back in the day where he was talking about opening up some sort of community center for like underprivileged or like Native American kids.
Oh, I love that.
And just basically like bussing them out every week and working on music and just building a big studio with free instruments for young people to use.
That's great, man.
Honestly, like down the road, if this whole music thing doesn't really work out for me in the way I hope it does, I would love to do something like that. And I don't really care who's involved. But like I said, the idea was really like he brought it up and he was telling me all about it a few years back, and I was like, yeah, okay, man, that sounds cool. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but it sounds cool. But now it seems more realistic than ever, because you could get funding from the state or from even the tribe if you're a Native American or if you're like a tribal member, like to help the community out. So I don't really care where it happens or how it gets done, but eventually doing something like that to create a free community center for
it's the best feeling.
Kids who don't have access to like instruments at home or don't necessarily have the best family life and need an escape to go somewhere to learn how to play music, would be super beneficial for like anybody. And I know I'm not the first one. Nobody's the first person to have that idea, but
But I think it's great. But I think it's great though because a lot of people have this sour mentality where it's just I tried open mic comedy, I tried being a local musician, I tried being an artist, and it didn't work out. So now I'm gonna be fucking bitter, and I'm just gonna let it. That's my regret of the world. But I think
there's a lot of those guys.
There is a lot of those guys, and they'll try to step on your throats all the time. But I think that when it's more so just, I don't like to think about it as like, okay, for example, I don't like to think about it as like, oh, if this show doesn't work out, it's more so just I've put so much blood, sweat, and tears and money into this show where it's just like, if it doesn't work out for us, I want to give it to someone else. Like I love producing. That's my whole thing. Like I wish there was two of me because I would be over there pushing all the buttons. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's nice to have that mentality of this is what I bleed for, but I also want to help others. And I think that's what this whole community is about. Regardless of what you do, whatever your art form is, you got to be there to either help the newbies out or to help any way you can with even the old heads.
Yeah. And speaking of old heads, man, I've been seeing more and more old guys or older guys, the guys with grays, kicking off big YouTube channels, kicking off bands getting signed by like Metal Blade or whatever. There's this guy on YouTube. He does, I forget his channel name, but he talks specifically about baritone guitars. And he is like 50 years old, you know, and he just talks about fucking baritone guitars. And his channel blew up because he makes the coolest fucking music. It's like Meshuggah-esque stuff, you know. And it's like never would a day in his life would he thought like, oh, I finally kind of quote unquote made it when I was 50.
Yeah.
You know, but there's more opportunity now to do what you want with your music
At any age.
at any age. It doesn't really matter. Younger kids are blowing up, older people are blowing up. There's no longer that like golden period where you fucking have to make it or you're fucked. You know?
For sure. It's a daunting feeling for sure, you know, especially with today's age, with how expensive things are and how life is. You know, you know, congratulations to you and your wife for, you know, finding that love so quickly, you know. But
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, we're seeing that stuff happens later and later in life because of just how fucked the world is, you know, and stuff like that. But but I digress. It's just, you know, you got to have something. That's like my whole thing, you know, and you can't just give up on it. And it doesn't matter, you know, we could fucking make it when we're 50. It doesn't matter. I have the theory that I just hope one day Christian meets a new best friend, and that because he's really funny when he's on it. And it's just like, I'll just, you know, maybe I get in a car accident and I lose my vocal cords and Christian could just man the helm and I'll just fucking do what my nerd brain does, which is just.
I think you guys both have like a specific song in each other's heads whenever you look at each other. It's like, no one like you.
Oh no, we have a song.
I can't wait for the night with
That's a good
you.
one. That's a really good one. But I will tell you that our song is "Sharing the Night Together." That's our favorite song, and that's our song.
Who sings that?
You looking kind of lonely, girl. You remember that one?
Oh, no, not really. I don't remember that
man.
one.
Oh, trust me, we're soul bonded, my friend. Trust me, we know.
Yeah,
It's so,
I believe it.
Yeah, no, and I'm so glad. You know, I used to have another co-host, and no bad blood to that guy. I hope he's doing okay and stuff like that. But things just didn't work out. There was a fallout, and you know. But I will say, I wish I would have just started with this guy. You know, he's my oldest friend, and he's been, you know, we just get each other and stuff like that. So it's like there is no Basement Dwellers without Jacob and Christian. You know what I mean?
Right on.
You know, you just gotta, you know. And I feel bad because you and I have been soul bonding here, and I think he's getting a little jealous. He's been over here just being the producer. I'm sorry, Christian. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Yeah, man. I mean,
No, honestly,
you
like-
guys want to like get on the gloves and just start throwing hands, or
No, like I told you guys, like I'm gonna be very secondary to this because I'm not very musically talented. So like I think it's real. I'm honestly like enjoying just like sitting here like listening to you guys like talk about stuff that I have no clue about. Like I didn't even know there was such a thing as a baritone guitar.
yeah, wow.
Well, you know, just like bandmates, you know, it's just like you got to have someone that checks you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's funny. I always say that bands are always the dysfunctional relationship that you choose to just stay in, you know, because you guys get in arguments and stuff like that. But
Oh yeah.
but like Christian and I will talk in ways that if other people read our messages, like they think that we're like in this weird fight, but it's just like that's how we talk to each other. It's little things where it's just like this, like, and it's we don't beat around the bush, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like we don't say, well, maybe if you did this, it's just I don't like that. Try this.
That's
you
why I
know?
love, you know, the current lineup we have. Our drummer, me and Daniel have known since we were 15 years old. Daniel is my lead guitar player. I've known him since middle school.
Right on.
And our bass player, Cade, he's a new addition to the group. He's to the brotherhood, really, you know, and he fits right in. I mean, he's such a cool, easy to get along with guy, and like he vibes on our level, and he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. So he doesn't hold back. So none of us are walking on eggshells with each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes that really does lead to like not explosive arguments, but like when you say exactly what's on your mind, sometimes there's a little bit of fuck you behind it.
Oh, for sure.
You
And
know?
we do that all the time. Once a week. There's definitely some fuck you behind it.
We get that with each other, but it's because we've known each other for so long. But we found we have this great dynamic and chemistry, and hopefully this lineup continues to progress through the ages, and we can fucking make something out of it. And like at this point in time, I'm 30. Our drummer is like in his mid to late 30s. He's got a bunch of kids, you know. And we're just doing the best we can. Like, we don't really have a lot of expectations anymore. We're just doing what we can with what we have, you know.
But at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. You know, at the end of the day, like it's not a paycheck. It's just the love of the music.
Right.
It has to be.
We just do it because we love it, you know, and like it's a part of our lives. It's the core of our identities now, you know.
Let's make it very absolutely clear, by the way. we're in the deficit for sure. I put a lot of money into this. So, patreon.com/Basement Dweller Productions.
Yeah.
Please become a supporter today and you can support this lovely show. But you really do put a lot of stuff. You have to.
Yeah. And you know what? I got to say, if you guys are watching this far into the episode,
which I hope. What did we say was our average view time? 6 minutes. We found
oh
out.
my
fuck
God.
you guys. Yeah.
So this is for us, right?
I'm gonna have to just start making heartfelt promos.
Yeah.
So people start
Yeah.
listening to the fucking.
Well, if you're still here, fuck you. Why are you here?
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Go
Come on.
away.
You're not a part of the average.
No, I really hope you guys make it out. I really hope you guys like push through and get your channel, lifted off, which I believe you will because you got a good chemistry and
Thank you.
once you start getting more, primo guests, I think people are going to start really
That's the goal,
digging
man.
in.
But what it really came down to is that I find me and Christian so funny that my narcissistic brain just thought maybe we should start recording it. I mean, that's how I have to take this because it really is just he and I talking about our week. But like like most good friends, I mean, I could spend 8 hours in a car with this guy and we'll never have a dull moment, and I'm
Hell
sure
yeah.
you can relate to that too.
Yeah.
So you just got to stop. I mean, we've done 70 episodes, we've done a shit ton. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, which
Wow.
time has flown, and I've just seen so many people crash and burn. And it's just like the one thing you have to have is just patience
And consistency.
and
don't be weak,
yeah,
Like,
you have to learn whatever it is, even if you're a fucking stand-up comedian, it's just you and you have a 5-minute set, you have to be able to have that humility to know this is what works, this doesn't. And I tell this joke all the time where it's just like, I didn't want to be the guy that said, oh, I have a podcast and everyone rolls their eyes because most podcasts you've heard of that never take off are dudes with their iPhone on the table bullshitting for 20 minutes, and people, and understandably so, my parents were just like, oh, that's a lot of money, stuff like that. But it's just like, I wanted to be the best.
I wish I would have stopped listening to my parents a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Because they want what's best for you in terms of financial stability. But dream chasing is not reliable by any means. So they're just looking out for your safety, at the end of the day.
That's what it is. Me and Christian are definitely, we just complain about our parents all the time to each other, but that's just kind of what it is,
Well, you just got to self-regulate, man, and just go for it.
We had such a good heartfelt, good 20 minutes here, and I loved every second of it. But, before we started this show, you were telling me about a story that I got to hear before we go. I don't mean to gear shift just going from 5 to 1, but I got to hear it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so it's a good one, and I felt like this was really worthy of being recorded because it's something that
that's how me and Christian think our daily thoughts are.
Yeah.
So yeah. Lay it on us, man.
Well, so as I was telling you, last year, all year I worked in residential air conditioning.
Yeah.
And that means I go house to house fixing ACs and meet all kinds of people.
Yeah.
So renters are typically like you run into either just normal people or just kind of weirdos. There was a house, kind of Tempe Chandler border, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go there and I'm gonna try to keep it kind of short and succinct so it, I can get right to the cut to the chase. But
Take your time,
there really
man.
was a buildup, So
Yeah.
I get there and I call the guy. I'm on my way. He's like, yeah. If you could make it quick, man, I've got some things going on tonight. Like just important stuff. And I was like, all right, man.
Which
cool.
is never like a good.
Well,
What does that
I'm
mean?
like, he's just trying to get out of the house, whatever.
Sure.
So I get there, and he answers the door, and it's this dude with his shirt off, and he's wearing a dog collar around his neck.
Hell
was
yes.
Red flag number one. All right,
Yes.
cool. And he's like, just give me the weirdest vibes. I go inside his house to check out what's going on. Essentially, his AC unit was leaking into his roof, and it was on the roof, so I go in his house and I see a furry costume, a full wolf furry costume on the table. So now I see what he's gearing up for the night. I'm like, all right, this guy's going to go out and just do some fur shit. He's just going to go be a furry. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's weird. All right, I'm just going to move on. I go upstairs. As I'm walking upstairs, there's like hentai pictures pasted on the wall, and
Based as
framed
fuck.
up. Yeah, like
Hell yes.
20 by 30, like big frames, like hentai. Fucking, if you're not familiar with what hentai is, I'm sure most of your viewers are.
Yeah, they are. but go ahead and explain anyway.
Anime porn.
Yes,
right.
100%.
So-
love anime.
yeah. So I'm walking up there and I'm just like, wow, he's like bold. You
Yeah.
know, he's putting this on his walls. And I checked the thermostat out, whatever. So he goes, yeah, so just come on in whenever you want. No problem. I'm like, okay.
Now,
So
are you doing a caricature of his voice, or is this really how he sounds?
I think maybe a little bit, but it's how I remember him.
It's very dark and mysterious and creepy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I go outside and he has the shittiest roof I've ever fucking worked on. If you're familiar with roof pitches, it's 6x12 roof pitch, which basically means the angle is like the worst it can possibly be, and the AC unit is dead on top. So I had to like Mission Impossible from a fully extended ladder to a 2-story building up to this fucking AC unit, and it sucked. And I was working on it, got the work I needed to get done, and I actually had to call my boss to come bring me a rope so I could like lasso it around the unit and shimmy myself down to the ladder. It was, I'm toasting. It's like June.
Yeah.
I'm just roasting on this fucking roof. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk in his house and tell him I'm about to finish the job. Like I'm just ready to go to bed. So I open the door. Lo and behold, 5 feet from me, he's getting fucked up the ass by another guy on the couch. By another furry. I assume he's a furry. So yeah, he's getting banged by another guy on the couch, and he did tell me, "Come inside anytime you want." And I didn't know he meant it like that. So I walk in, and I was gonna go up and turn his thermostat on and try his AC unit out, but at that point in time, I was like, "Fuck this!" So I turn around, and he comes outside like nothing happened.
Oh my god.
And he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I'm done. I'm leaving. Bye." And he's like, "Okay, man." I'm like, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to."
You witnessed gay sex.
Yes,
Right in front of your eyes.
Yes. At normal work day.
Was it like 11 a.m.? Like, was it just like,
It was like 3 p.m.
oh, wow.
Yeah, middle of the afternoon.
They went right to
Just
business.
Some afternoon delight.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
They were getting right to it. And the guy that was banging him,
Yeah.
I was in my van and I called my boss. I said, I have to go. I'll explain later, but I can't be here right now. And he's like, okay, just give me a call. Are you okay? Are you safe? I'm like, yes, yeah.
I'm safe, but I don't know if I'm okay.
Yeah. So I drive off, and the guy that was banging him comes outside with a shit-eating grin on his face. Like, got him.
Nice.
Dude, so hold on. So this man showed up and left the time you were there.
Yes, he showed up after I got there to fuck his boy in the ass. And then left as I was leaving.
Business was to be had. Dude.
Yeah, there was
Wow.
a call that was made.
Wow.
Long-haired guys in town.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Fucking
bad.
shit.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's like literally it was like we got 10 minutes. Like let's
Yeah. No, I was on the roof for a while. You
okay.
know.
Did you hear anything while you were on the roof?
No, you can't hear shit. And it's a 2-story house, so I was just like,
Was it a nice house?
yes. It was really nice.
You know, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I feel like once your capital is like 70,000 a year plus, you start getting into some pretty weird shit.
Maybe, I don't know. They didn't smell 70,000.
Oh, it smelled like shit. It smelled gross in there.
Yeah, it smelled gross.
They're sweaty people.
Their smell had a aura.
Was he wearing the suit?
No, they weren't wearing the suits while they were banging.
Was the hentai men?
It was a little bit of everything.
Okay.
It was a lot.
Was it sex scenes or was it just like naked stills?
No, it was like banging was going on, and I didn't look long enough to like try to get the details. But they sent back another guy because I told the story to everybody, and my boss was like, "Make sure you keep this to yourself."
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm not good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, thanks for sharing it on here too. So,
I told
Yeah.
everybody at work.
Yeah.
And they were all getting a kick out of it. So it was just like every person I told thought it was so fucking hilarious. And so it just turned into this fucking whole thing. Every meeting, everyone's talking about it. And our bosses hated it because they're like, guys, don't bring up the
Stop talking about the butt fucking.
Yeah, stop
dude.
talking
Fuck.
about the gay
Enough.
sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just always came up. And finally, another guy went back.
Yeah.
Shout out Mark, love you, dog.
Shut up, Mark.
He went back and he had he had his camera recording in his shirt pocket. Not all AC guys do this, by the way. don't worry, we're not going in recording you in your fucking house.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there was a preface to this. You
Right.
know?
There was a story to be had.
I told him, be on guard.
Yeah.
You know, have your camera ready just in case they start doing some weird shit, so you can present that to the homeowner, to like the people, whoever owns a house, the agency or whatever, and let them know, like, this is what's going on. We won't be returning because of this, you know, because they shouldn't be doing that to people.
Yeah, the
while they're at
fucking
work.
balls to just
Right.
have a hookup session when you know the AC guy's there.
Yeah, no, I think that there was something underlying there. Like, they were definitely trying to get some sort of kick out of it.
I was gonna say, like, do you think it was like a kink? Like,
I think
like
that
they wanted to be watched. Or
I
something?
think they wanted to be caught.
Okay.
For
Do
sure.
you think they wanted you to hop on in?
Probably. I don't think they would
He
have
did
said.
say come back in anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they would have said no.
So that was the invitation. Like, oh, just come back in whenever.
Without a shadow of a doubt, they would not have said no if I was like into that. But I was not into that. And even if I was gay, they were like the most disgusting dudes I've ever seen in my
Oh,
life.
I believe it. They're
Yeah.
fucking furries.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've
so-
said on multiple. Don't feel bad about this. On multiple occasions, we've definitely said that furries are fucking weirdos.
They wear
So-
costumes to fuck each other.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and they try to be like, we're not weird. I'm like, you are.
Yeah.
You should work on
Says
that.
the guy with the fucking hentai portraits
Yeah.
in his fucking house.
I'm like, that's something you actually, you need your brain fixed.
Right.
You got to go to therapy. And like, you need help. Yeah.
I'm just trying to yiff with the AC guy.
Yif.
That's what it's called. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they probably were, but you know, yeah, not my bag. Nice try, guys. But-
Oh my god. On that fucking note, thank you so very much for coming on, man. That was fucking amazing. Holy shit. That was really good. Just to reiterate, we have with us Esteban from the band The Writ. You could see them on April 15th at the A Night with the Savages show at the Pub Rock. You can also see him in March with the local Arizona band I Pariah.
Oh yeah, we're playing out in Vegas. We're playing I forget the name of the festival. I forget. I'm so sorry, guys. But
That's okay. We'll
anyway,
post things.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm filling in on live guitar with I Pariah. Shout out I Pariah.
Shout out I Pariah.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Thank you so very much for coming on. Christian, you got anything else?
I love you.
And I love you guys too. Thank you so very much for coming on, Esteban. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Everyone else, take care. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.
If you like what you heard, type it to their Instagram and Twitter. The information's right below with their email.
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy.
Be sure to log into the channel by subscribing and check out the previous episodes. But until then, we'll see you next week with a new one. We out for now.